Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Episode 9. Yes, we got a two-parter last time in a very interesting way. Technically, you could separate the episodes and you could just mention the temple of Avatarrrr in the end, and it could have worked. But what they did was actually connect all this episode, or connect this episode with the last one, and give us neat messages of environmental awareness without again being pushy. And they gave us a neat action moment and different characters for the Fire Nation. So far, we only have seen, or prior that episode, prior last episode, we only seen Fire Nation as the bad guys, all of them. If it's a Fire Nation, oh, it's bad, it's terrible, grr, oh, they must be all bad guys. But no, actually, we got someone from within the Fire Nation and helping our heroes, understanding again that there is a bigger picture. There is something bigger than what the Fire Lord wants. And that helps a lot to build up your world. You're giving us options. You're not telling us that every single one of them, every single one of the members of the Fire Nation, I mean citizens and soldiers, are evil, are bad people. You're giving us more diverse cast of background characters, which again helps a lot in the build-up of this universe. But anyway, that is going to be reserved for the commentary because yes, there is a lot of things. But of course, to do the commentary, I first need to watch the episode 9. So yeah, let's cut all of these and watch the episode, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the 9th episode of the first book. And yes, it's a little bit more of self-concluding episode, not much. It's more of a fun episode. It's not as dramatic, it's not as important or as big, I think is the correct word, as big as the previous one. The previous one we saw, we got our timeline, we got our time limit, and we got the help of a previous avatar. In this one, yes, we needed the scroll, the waterbending scroll, but again, it doesn't feel as big. Yes, we start with the anxiety from Aang, because yeah, now he knows he has a very limited time to practice all the other elements he hasn't perfected, and he's far away from anybody who can teach him. But I think the episode focused more in other aspects, because the anxiety part was kind of dismissed quite easily and quite quickly. And yes, the episode went from a different direction that I expected. Again, at the beginning or when they arrived to the port, I expected to be an encounter, a direct encounter with Prince Zuko and of course the rest of the Fire Nation benders. And yeah, the shenanigans were going to be from the beginning to the end, trying to avoid Prince Zuko and trying to just escape. I thought that was the point of the episode. I was completely wrong. Actually, thanks to the scroll that Katara stole, that's why all the shenanigans, or the second half shenanigans, happen. This is important because we start to see a little bit deeper into Katara. Katara, again, is not the perfect little girl that is portrayed in the first episode. That she's trying to understand everybody. She's trying to be the peacemaker. And yes, she is. She's a fantastic peacemaker. But obviously, she still has her personality. And if you take away the personality of anybody in the main role, or even in the villainous role, you take away from the show. So therefore, it's fantastic to see Katara being a little bit selfish. Why is that? Every single human being is selfish to a certain degree. Yes, there are people who are completely selfish, or at least a lot selfish. But there are people who are kind of selfless. It's more to incline to that side. But in a certain point, these people tend to actually do the contrary of what you expect from them. That's human nature. We're always noble, or we're always evil, we're not always, skillful in everything, or completely incompetent in everything. We have our own personalities, we have our own quirks. And it's fine to have set quirks. It's fine to be kind of selfish sometimes. It's fine to be kind of selfless sometimes. It's human nature. And again, this is why I love this little bit of the episode in which Katara kind of breaks, kind of gets angry. Because yes, you're supposed to be a waterbender. You didn't have your training. You were self-taught. At least that's what I understand from what is said in the episode. And the problem is that somebody who is not even a waterbender, somebody who only learns airbending, is more capable than you at waterbending. Yes, this person is the Avatar, obviously, but still, it's kind of a big hit to the ego. And yeah, Katara, from what I have seen, has an ego. Not big one, but as everybody, she has an ego. And I love these little moments in the changing of personality that gave us something else, that strip away the air of perfection, the air of selflessness that Katara had before. We have seen, and all the character development that we have seen is kind of for the good side, but it's actually really fun to see the bad side from time to time. It makes it more interesting. It makes it a bigger world, or a better form world. At least that's what I think. She returns quite quickly to the moment in which she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's not good, and I'm going to abandon the scroll." Of course, we later find out that is not the case, that she tried to practice her waterbending, and that's why they were discovered. She was captured, and she's been used as bait for the Avatar. Or, well, not bait, kind of holding her back because she knows where the Avatar is. I don't think Prince Zuko is interested in any way, shape, or form in her. He's just interested in the Avatar. And then, of course, we continue with our kind of episode again. The pirates attack. They use the huge numbers and a lot more experience in combat. You can fairly see that. And yeah, the Avatar is captured. And when Sokka could have gone away, he was captured because he was so... Yeah, I think it's egotistical. Oh, I'm not good enough for you to be kidnapped. Yeah, it's ridiculous, it's funny, but that helps the episode. And then, of course, Sokka really did something really smart. Trying to put the pirates against the firebenders. Because yes, they were cooperating, and that makes a whole enemy a lot bigger and a lot more threatening. But once you divide and conquer, literally that is what happened. He started to say, "Oh, you're just going to waste the Avatar away? The Avatar is going to give you a bigger reward." So yes, and that's how the fight started. And thanks to this fight, the Avatar, Sokka, and Katara could escape. They start to use, and I love, again, I know perhaps I'm jumping way too much, but these are concepts that I need to say or I will forget it. I love how they use a technique that Katara kind of knows, or she has been perfecting, that is just literally moving the water back and forth, and they use that technique that she knows to do quite well, and with the help of Aang, they can push the boat. I love that. Again, that is perhaps an insignificant detail, but I love the fact that this technique is something that Katara knows too well, that they are not just pulling oh yeah, she can produce waves the size of a freaking ship so they can move the boat easily. No, This is a simple technique that she dominates, but with a lot more power thanks to the addition of Aang. So yes, I love those small details. And yeah, of course, again, when they are trying to run away, they're invaded by pirates, and I love how everybody contribute to the repelling of all those pirates. So yes, I love that little fact too, that Katara, Aang, and of course even Sokka just kind of get rid of the pirates. Hell, even Momo get rid of the freaking, well, not parrot that was pursuing it. So yes, I love these little bits here and there. And I love how something so insignificant like the bison whistle was useful in the end and saved their lives in the end. So not a copper piece wasted there. So kudos for Aang that figured out that, oh, this might be useful. Perhaps it's not the exact thing that was thinking when he bought it, but it was useful nonetheless. So everything works wonders. And yes, I love how Katara has improved just a tiny bit her water bending. And yes, the scroll was again for her so she can practice, and my guess obviously for Aang to practice too. At least he knows, or he will know, the basic of the water bending techniques. Now I'm going to speak about little pieces that I found interesting in this episode. First, the fact that Aang can control the water so easily. The fact that he can bend water so easily, I think, is because he has trained another bending technique. Sorry. I know that from what you have told to me, every single one of the bending techniques is based on a different type of martial art. I do not recall, and I did not want to do an investigation in case I find spoilers. I did not want to do an investigation of that. So, yes, I don't know exactly which techniques are those. But my guess is, if you learn the basic, or you need to learn the basic of every technique, they share some similarities. That's my guess. And if you master one element, even if you cannot bend the rest, you kind of know the movements, so you can do it. And as an avatar that literally can do all the 4 bending techniques, he can, or has a natural talent thanks to, I don't know, the genetic memory of the avatar, so he can bend the water a lot easily. Yeah, I guess thanks to him being the avatar, the domination of the basic is easier for him, easier for Aang, but obviously I understand the frustration from Katara. So that's again my guess. I don't know if I'm correct or if I'm completely off track here. Now, the second thing I want to speak about is a little bit more on the funny side. Again, I think from the first time I saw the uncle, I love him. He is so relaxed, so laid back, and it's a nice contrast to the very angry prince, to the very intolerant prince. I love those contrasts. And yeah, the uncle is so much fun. And I love how, even indirectly, the uncle helped to track down the avatar. Because yes, Prince Zuko wanted to go straight forward, he wants to go after the avatar. But amazingly, thanks to this deviation from the market route, they were so close to the avatar. They were this close to capture the avatar. So, amazingly, thanks to trying to find a Lotus piece, they were able to almost be, well, with the avatar. But of course, that doesn't change the frustration from the prince once his uncle doesn't find this search quite as important. And the piece of, I don't know what the game was called, I don't recall.
For my Paicho game.
It's just well, so annoyed. The princess is so annoyed that just end up throwing away. Because yes, the uncle is not taking anything seriously in this case. Because yeah, that is part of his personality. It makes sense. And again, I said this before in previous commentaries, but I love the relationship between the uncle, Uncle Iroh, and Prince Zuko. I don't know why. It feels so natural. It feels so familiar between each other. And yes, I know they are family, but this show is very capable of pulling that off. Because yes, there are shows in which you see, are you sure they're family? They don't look like that. They just look like soldiers, or they just look like companions, or they look like this or that. They don't look like family. And this show is really showing us how they behave like a family, even if they are the villains, even if they are the bad guys. Yeah, it's pretty amusing to watch their interaction between these two. And yes, some small detail that I did not notice the first time is how the uncle is just imitating the statue of the monkey when he turns around. I don't know why I found that funny, but when I figured that out, or when I find that out, I was laughing so hard. But yeah, I did not see that in the first viewing. I was more interested into seeing Prince Zuko than watching the background. But yeah, on the second viewing with a little bit more detail, yes, it was hilarious. One last little bit, how again the interaction between Katara and Sokka is. Again, Sokka being the brother is like, okay, yes, have the scroll, but you learned a lesson, yes, of course, and all of that. I love again the interaction between the family that the show is portraying. So yes, it's amazing how the show is capable of pulling off the family relationships and the family interactions. I just love it. What else? Yeah, I don't find so much of a moral or a moral contradiction that, oh, our heroes steal something. Why is that? Because technically the pirates steal it from the water, when from a water tribe. So yeah, perhaps if they return that, so I think it's going to be fine. Or at least in my opinion, I don't find a moral stand against this moment in which Katara steals the water scroll. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But anyway, I think I'm starting to ramble right now. So yeah, I have nothing else to say about the episode. I hope you enjoy it. And yes, I have nothing else to say, but thank you for your attention and see you in the next one. Bye.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks and see you on the next one.